So South Africa has absolutely everything I could ever want. But at the end of the day, it's still... One of my friends was like, message me once you come back because I know you won't have internet over there in South Africa. One of the things South Africa can teach other places, I think maybe... So welcome back. In this video, I'll share exactly how one trip to South Africa inspired me to walk away from everything I knew in the US, including the security of my career, and start completely over in a new country. All for the chance to build my dream life here, something I didn't feel like was going to happen in America. So I'll share with you exactly how I did this, and if you plan to do something similar, whether it's South Africa or another country, how you can do it too. By the way, I've done several videos on this topic, so if you're interested in why I chose South Africa specifically, you can check out this video below. Now, if you want to move abroad, of course you'll need to either find work in the place that you're going, have a remote job, have some sort of business, or some sort of passive income, either through retirement or investments. But here's what I did.
So, first of all, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for taking the time. It was very random and like last minute. I saw your YouTube, I think literally last week.
Oh yeah?
So actually, for people that don't know, a little bit of your background in terms of like what you do.
Yeah, so I was always like a tech nerd. So I started web design straight out of high school.
Yeah.
Started my own business doing that. So working remotely was always like a big priority for me.
Yeah.
But after coming here, it actually inspired me to kind of leave that and start into videography and cinematography.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, at first it was just me wanting to show family and friends back home, like, oh, like this place is gorgeous, like more than I could do, like just with my phone, because I felt like they weren't getting it. They're like, oh yeah, that's cool, but like when are you coming home? And I'm like, I'm not coming home. It's not happening.
Y'all don't get it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it kind of inspired me to change career paths completely.
Wow.
Yeah. So that brings me into how I made this work. I think if you want to do something big and impactful and you don't know how to do it, just taking the first step is the only thing you need to focus on at that point. And I think you'll be surprised at how many more opportunities just start to open up for you. So as soon as I got back to the States for my trip to South Africa, I researched everything that I would need to make this happen. I got a lens, I got a camera, and I started learning. Now, if you're considering going to a new place or moving to a new place, I think one of the most important things that a lot of people don't talk about is removing mental barriers that you may have. Get rid of all the stereotypes you have of other places before you go there and go with an open mind. Next is to pick the place you're most interested in going to. Of course, you've got to consider your visa situation, but that's going to be different for everyone. Now, after this, all that's left is booking your flight and finding an accommodation. Make sure wherever you're going, you do a little bit of research on to make sure you're in a safe place. I already knew for me, South Africa was a special place, but I couldn't just make this decision to move without having seen anything else. So I went places, and I took my camera with me.
Messi pędzi, Hakimi do niego pewnie będzie zagrywał. Messi jednak nie jest gol!
So wanting to show people all these different places and tell all these different stories from people I spoke to, that's how I came up with the idea for Atlas Motion Works, a production company based on storytelling that would work with hotels, travel brands, and anything that had to do with telling real stories of real people. These trips, these different countries I went to, completely changed the way that I looked at the world, and they were incredible, and I'm so glad I went on these trips. But then I came back to Cape Town, and I had the same feeling as I did the first time. That's how I knew I definitely wanted to live here, and I was in the right place.
I think out of most countries in Africa, Ghana is really big in terms of like people relocating there.
Yeah.
Kenya, Tanzania, and people are just starting to really get to knowing about South Africa and how it's like, it's popping. What made you come to South Africa, actually?
So probably curiosity more than anything. It was kind of like, okay, this place is so far away and I know almost nothing about it, but
Yeah.
there's definitely things happening here.
Yeah.
So I come from a half immigrant family.
Okay.
They're from Trinidad in the Caribbean.
Yeah.
And so I kind of had perspective early on that there's a lot of places outside of the U.S. That you may want to be. Like,
Yeah.
my dad talked highly of the Caribbean, even though he had, there's certain issues that they face. In some ways, lifestyle-wise, he found it better than the U.S. He was also in the military, so he got to travel a lot.
Yeah.
Germany, places like that. So, yeah, early on I had perspective, and it just made me curious about, what's going on in Africa, and is it exactly how it's
Like how they
painted
say, yeah.
in American media? And I
Yeah.
quickly found out it's not at all.
Don't let them lie to you. I promise.
I actually went quite a few places before that.
Yeah.
I mentioned Portugal. I spent a lot of time there. I spent a lot of time in Morocco,
Nice.
and I love those places too. But from a perspective of socializing, especially, South Africa was just it for me. It's,
Yeah.
people were so relatable and so welcoming.
Yeah. So now are you fully in the videography world, or do you still do the
fully in the videography world.
Yeah.
Working with different travel brands, hotels, things like that. So,
Nice. Okay. So you've been getting work with South African companies, or
all over, South Africa included.
Yeah.
I just did a shoot with the Marriott Sea Point
nice.
location
Nice.
and the Fire and Ice location up here too.
Nice.
All right, so it's shooting day. We're here at the hotel. We're at a Marriott location in Cape Town, and we're just waiting for the manager to come down to get us access to all the rooms and the amenities we'll be shooting. Got my coffee. Just getting ready. It's gonna be a pretty long day, so yeah. So the first thing I'm doing right now is I'm looking at where the sun is gonna be hitting. For the shot, I wanna have the talent facing the sun so that they're well lit, and then you also get the ocean view on this side. Okay, so right now we are prepping for the outdoor portion of the shoot. So as you're coming up, I'm just gonna go like this.
Oh, that looks cool.
Okay, can I have you in front of the sun? And you can just lean over the edge of the pier. So as with any other move from one country to another, you're going to have to learn how to culturally adapt to that new place. But I will say, to be honest, adapting here wasn't really difficult. Maybe it helps that I'd done a lot of research beforehand, but if a person is going in completely blind, which I don't recommend, maybe you would need to learn the difference between things like now, just now, and right now, or the idea that colored isn't necessarily a bad word. It's just a term for a specific group of people here who have mixed roots.
Prawns, 2 pieces of hake, and some calamari. That's our platter for 2.
Obviously, because there's 11 national languages or something like that, you're gonna hear and meet people that speak all different languages.
Yeah, if anything, it taught me I need to kind of step it up. I mean, people here know 3 or 4 languages sometimes.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh wow, well, I can talk to you in English. and
Right.
that's it. Yeah. Before I came here, people thought I was absolutely crazy for even wanting to go. I mean, they threw like a goodbye party for me. One of my friends was like, message me once you come back because I know you won't have internet over there in South Africa. Yeah, it was crazy. They're ill-informed.
Okay, so what would you say South Africa could teach other countries, or things that you've noticed here that other countries should adopt? I'll use an example. I love that you can take the shopping cart outside of that store. Like if
Yeah.
you're in a mall, you can take the shopping cart throughout the whole mall.
Yeah.
Which is like, oh yes, this is like almost like duh, because
Yeah.
it's like I have all my bags, I have all my stuff, so now I can like walk around with it. I was like,
Yeah.
Canada, hello,
Yeah.
America.
I think when you go different places, sometimes you see things and you're like, why isn't this
Why
everywhere?
is it? Yeah, why are we all
Yeah.
doing this? Yeah.
I guess one of the things South Africa can teach other places, I think maybe resilience. So South Africa is known for
Yeah.
having, some issues.
Yeah.
But the people here are still humorous and
Yes.
they can they
Lively.
can get past things
Yeah.
and laugh it off. And
Yeah.
I'm like, wow.
Yeah.
Coming from a place where you meet a lot of people who complain about small things.
Smallest things, yeah.
Yeah, coming
Yeah.
here is like, oh wow, like
Yeah.
people deal with real stuff here,
Real
and
stuff, yeah.
and they move forward still. So yeah. So it all depends where you're going. One country might be significantly different from another, where you might have to learn a new language, and then others you might land and feel right at home. But that doesn't mean that moving to a country that's similar to yours in a lot of ways isn't difficult still. For me, the challenge was more psychological. So South Africa has absolutely everything I could ever want, but at the end of the day, it's still on the opposite side of the world and a 15-hour flight from my nearest family member. But that's when I have to remind myself I've made this move for a reason and there's a real purpose behind it. There's millions of people around the world who have either moved or are contemplating moving for an opportunity at something better.
I think I love it when people like you take that leap. It kind of starts a wave, because literally you don't know how many people you could be inspiring, just by showcasing where you are, and you're like, guys, this is Africa too,
People deal with real stuff here, and they move forward still.
I arrived in Africa, I arrived in Cape Town and say, how are you going to get out of here? It was awesome.
So I came to South Africa to build a new life, and this kind of dream life that I'd want to create isn't just based on making more money or saving more money. It's about putting myself in a position where I can learn more and tell more stories, my own and other people's from around the world. That just couldn't happen by sitting in the U.S. for the rest of my life. So for me, when it was time to make that decision to change my career completely, I really didn't hesitate. I knew that this would be a lot more meaningful. So with that being said, I'm going to be showing you guys other cities in South Africa, as well as other countries from around the world. Let me know in the comments where you think I should go next. By the way, I opened up a Discord. We're having conversations about all sorts of things, from moving to new countries, visiting new countries, dating abroad, cost of living. So I'll leave the link below. Make sure you check that out. So thank you guys for watching. I'll see you next time.